Right now the show begin. We gon' bring it to the house for the home team. Big plays, big wins for the whole team. We gon' bring it to the house for the home team. We better ready from head to feet.
Swinging to the right center field.
It's time to go. It's time to go right. Get ready.
Welcome to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet. Tonight we are in Milwaukee at American Family Field. The Brewers with yet another chance to grab the lead in the NL Central as they host the Kansas City Royals. Willy Adames and the Brewers have lost 8 of 10 after a strong start, but it'll be a tough test against the red-hot offense of the Royals and their budding star, Bobby Witt Jr. And hi, everybody. Alex Faust, Ryan Spielberg's here with you. We will hear from Trisha Whitaker in just a bit. Brewers have had many opportunities to take the lead in the division. They got off to a great start. Pittsburgh was red hot to begin, but the Brewers hit the skids at the beginning of this month. Now another chance as they continue this homestand.
Yeah, Alex, they're trying to roll out the barrel. They're trying to get things straight now. And for this Brewers team, they have been one of the better teams in the National League. But unfortunately, the last 3 weeks, they have not been playing Brewers baseball. It's crazy to think they've already spent 22 days in first place. They're trying to get back on top. But this Kansas City Royals team offensively leading virtually in every category in Major League Baseball.
And it'll be a tough test for Corbin Burns. The ace of the Brewers toes the rubber here tonight.
I love watching this guy pitch. He's also a fantastic story. Back in 2019, had nearly a 9 ERA, got sent back to the minor leagues, and since he's come back, he has just dominated the sport. He has one of the best pitches in baseball in a cut fastball, and all the numbers reflect just how dominant he can be. And for Corbin Burns, when you consider certain pitches, the cut fastball, why is it so good? It's because it disappears from you. Think about this, 52% of the outs he's recorded have been with the cut fastball. That leads all Major League starters. He also has 200 and nearly 80 strikeouts, which is 5th most in Major League Baseball. So what is it that makes this pitch so special? StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. I want you to consider this. When you throw a cut fastball, if you can spin it more, it will move more. The average spin rate of a cut fastball is 2,400. Corbin spins it 200 more than the rest of the league. Oh, and by the way, he throws it harder than anybody else in Major League Baseball. 94 miles an hour, the average cutter is less than 90. And the amount of movement he's getting on top, I'm telling you, Alex, it's sleight of hand. You're looking in one spot, you're swinging elsewhere. That's why that pitch is so good.
Bobby Witt Jr. is a budding superstar. He is a 5-tool player. If you're not familiar yet with Bobby Witt Jr., it's time to pay attention.
It is time to pay attention to Bobby Witt Jr. This guy's special. He was the first overall pick for the Kansas City Royals. He has had so much love poured into him. It goes back to the WBC superstars were saying this guy's amazing. Why? He's the only player in Major League Baseball in the 90th percentile of all these things. So if he's not on in one location, he can do something else. Defensively, he's improved. 4 in outs above average. He was bouncing around last year, wasn't feeling comfortable. Now he's comfortable. It's not just that. He can run. He's 2nd in the American League in stolen bases. He's also one of the fastest when you consider bolts. It's just an all-time speed metric. I love that metric as well. And then if that's not enough to get you hooked on Bobby Witt Jr., how about some pop? People love the long ball. And for Bobby Witt Jr., tied for 4th in overall distance on home runs. He has 6. He is truly remarkable when you consider the type of athlete.
And you put it into context, too. 70-plus extra base hits and 40-plus stolen bases in his career. It took him 185 games to get there. Look at all the numbers of players in the same range. You're talking Trout, McCutchen, Turner, Tatis. Pretty good company to be in. And Witt, again, is only 22 years of age. More of a veteran on the other side in Willy Adames, but it's pretty simple for the Brewers most of the time. When he's hitting, the rest of the Brewers tend to follow. With more on that, here's Trisha Whitaker.
Well, to say Willy Adames has been the offensive catalyst for this group since he was traded here in 2021 might be an understatement. And we know recent numbers for Adames might signify he's been struggling at the plate, but this week it did get better as Adames hit his 100th career home run. And make no mistake, this lineup goes as Willy goes. And if you need proof, take a look at the numbers. In the Brewers' 20 wins with Willy on the field, he has 7 home runs, 21 RBI, and 18 runs. In their losses, just a couple RBI and 1 run. Those numbers would signify his immense impact on this lineup. Since May of 2021, his first game as a Brewer, he's hit 58 home runs, and that's the most from any shortstop in Major League Baseball. When I spoke with Willy Adames before the game, I asked him, I said, hey, what has this franchise done to allow you to flourish in the way that you have? And he said, listen, on the first day that I became a Brewer, Craig Counsell looked at me and he said, all we need you to do is be yourself. And that has certainly unleashed some production for Willy Adames at the plate. Around the corner, we'll be right back for Friday Night Baseball between the Royals and the Brewers here in Milwaukee. We'll have the first pitch and your first look at lineups next.
He's a bad guy. Look at him, look at him. He's a bad guy.
A brilliant performance by Corbin Burns with 14 Ks. Walked him up with a curveball. 10 strikeouts for Corbin Burns. Got the strikeout machine going.
The Brewers looking to get back on track with their ace on the hill as we welcome you back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet, alongside the 7-year veteran Ryan Spilbergs. Trisha Whitaker is down on the field. Alex Faust here with you, American Family Field in Milwaukee. A look at the manager for Kansas City, Matt Quatrero, and his lineup. A lot of young homegrown players for Kansas City. Starting lineups presented by MLB The Show 23. The Royals lineup featuring Vinny Pasquantino, hitting .344 with 4 home runs on the road this season. He has an MLB The Show 23 player rating of 80. Edward Olivares hitting the 3 spot for the first time in his career, and MJ Melendez cleaning up. He's been white hot lately. Corbin Burns making his 8th start of the season. Took the loss last Friday against San Francisco. But boy, since reworking on that cutter a couple of years ago, flat out dominant.
This guy is flat out dominant, and he's fun. I mean, you think about it, somebody that comes out of Bakersfield, California, was barely scouted and went to St. Mary's College, and he has turned himself into one of the best pitchers in the National League. For him to have some success today, strike a balance. I want to see him continue to pound the strike zone. He's had a little difficulty with 2 strikes finishing hitters. There's a reason why his walk rate is elevated and his strikeout percentage is down, and we can get him back to sizing up this Kansas City Royals lineup and see if we can get Corbin Burns back to his true form.
He dealt with a strained pec. So take a look at Craig Counsell now in his 9th season with the Brewers, wearing their City Connect kit here tonight. Burns had that strained pec mid-April. Flu-like illness a little bit later in the month. Lost a little bit of weight. But last 5 starts, opponents hitting just .194 and a first pitch strike to Bobby Witt Jr. When he gets on, boy, can he fly. Though he would like to get that average up at just .228 coming into the evening.
Well, he's not even 23 years of age yet, and so a lot of his growth is going to be at the major league level. There's nothing left to prove in the minor leagues.
Witt coming off a 4-game series against the Chicago White Sox, went just 3 for 17. Ball and 2 strikes, and Witt is retired.
Well, this is one way to get yourself going if you're Corbin Burns. The last outing against the San Francisco Giants, he walked a couple, and this time goes directly after Bobby Witt, uses the cutter, and then with 2 strikes, he goes to the slider, takes a little bit off of it.
Take a look at tonight's odds, courtesy of BetMGM. Strikeouts for Corbin Burns, over under 6.5. First pitch to Pasquantino misses. And just for context, last week you mentioned that start where Burns wasn't quite himself. As you look at Pasquantino's numbers, 5 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched. We had 5 runs, 2 earned against Burns, behind on Pasquantino here.
Well, Burns makes it difficult. Pasquantino, the Pasquatch, was not supposed to be in the starting lineup, and he has just destroyed. Corbin Burns has left-handed hitters. That's what the cut fastball will do to you.
Pasquantino launches one foul. I'm glad you brought that up, Spilly. Late scratch today was Salvador Perez. He was supposed to be there in the 2 spot, but dealing with a problem that he's had in the past, blurry vision, and they've had to do a little bit of treatment to try to reduce some fluid in his eyes. Another hard hit foul ball from Pasquantino. Only count levels at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So that kind of shuffled things around for the Royals in their order tonight. Have Freddie Fermin behind the plate doing the catching. 2-2 misses outside. Count runs full.
Yeah, that's kind of what's been happening to Corbin Burnes. He gets a 2-2 count. That was a non-competitive pitch. Not saying he wasn't competing, but it was nowhere near the strike zone.
Here's a payoff. All four. Let's take a look at the arsenal for the Milwaukee A's here, Spill.
Yeah, I mean, what makes this guy so special is the cut fastball and the ability to throw it consistently for strikes. He throws the cut fastball 52% of the time. Occasional curveball, changeup, and slider. He did the slider to Bobby Witt just to make him feel silly. The batting average against the cut fastball, 198. So even with his struggles early on this year with his overall command, it is still virtually impossible to hit it.
There's Olivares taking a ball. Last year just 53 games. This year already 30. And as mentioned, hitting in the 3 spot for the first time in his career with MJ Melendez on deck, who's turned things around after a sluggish start. 2-0. A fastball that misses in. This is hit in the air to left. Yelich underneath it. And Christian Yelich has the second out of the first. Let's look at the Milwaukee defense here with Yelich, Joey Wiemer, and Tyrone Taylor from left to right in the outfield. Brian Anderson at third. They've platooned that position this year. Willie Adames at short. Owen Miller at second tonight. Rowdy Tellez at first. And William Contreras behind the plates.
This is a very good defensive team, very good defensive organization. Craig Counsell kind of preaching defense.
Melendez takes.
There's something simple in this, Alex, and I know you see it in hockey, you see it in baseball, but when you make the routine play, you know, this defense, especially from the outfield defense, is above average. But it just provides, you know, a pitching staff, and there's a reason why the Brewers pitching staff in the last couple of years has been one of the best, is they can rely on their defense to make outs, pick up for a mistake.
2-0 to Melendez, who's reached safely in 11 straight after a sluggish start. And he's crossed up there. Melendez, whose average cracked 200 for the first time this season on Sunday, but a bit deceiving. This month is an OPS of 870.
Well, the whole team has been destroying baseballs in the month of May.
And Melendez cracks one up the right field line. It is foul. Melendez said he's been working on a couple of adjustments to how he deals with pitches up in the zone.
Yeah, we spent a little time with MJ, and he was saying he got back into what he used to do in his swing. He's a little bit more crouched. He's in his back leg a little bit more. And he said he just felt it about 10 days ago, and he's like, oh, I forgot I hit like that.
Oh, no.
Oh, in the dirt.
Also, when we spent some time with them before the game, he did not have all his jewelry on.
No, but you could see the frosted tips going on. I don't even know how to describe it because they're curly frosted tips underneath that helmet.
Well, he did play for Team Puerto Rico, and they all bleach their hair. They call themselves Team Rubio.
There goes Witt on the payoff, and it's popped up. Shallow left. Yelich comes in and makes the catch. So a walk from Burnes, but the runner is stranded through a half inning. The Brewers coming to bat. of them, presented by MLB The Show 23, featuring Rowdy Tellez, 45 home runs since the start of last season, tied for third most in the National League. Tellez currently has an MLB The Show 23 player rating of 77. Of course, Adames, the feature in this lineup. Brian Anderson at third today, and Luke Voigt DHing. Opener for Kansas City, and what is expected to be a bullpen game for them is the lefty Josh Taylor.
I love this for Josh Taylor. It's his second major league start. The last one he had was in 2019 when he was with the Red Sox. And no matter what, you still get some nerves when you're starting at the major league level. Even though he's come out of the bullpen many times, and he threw just a handful of days ago against the Oakland A's, had a inning pitched against them at a strikeout. You still get a little nerves.
Leadoff man for the Brewers is Owen Miller, who takes a ball. Miller with a 13-game on-base streak entering tonight, including hits in 12 of those 13. He fouls this one off.
Well, the challenge that you're going to have if you're Milwaukee taking on the Kansas City Royals is you're not going to get comfortable in the batter's box. Hitters like to see a pitcher multiple times, so advantage Kansas City.
1-2 low and in. And the Royals, let's be honest, all parts of their game, not just the offense, have kind of turned the last little while. They've won 4 of 5 coming in, looking for their 3rd straight victory. They haven't done that all year.
No, they haven't had many wins in general.
No. Count runs full. By the way, those 4 wins in 5, Spilly, those 4 wins equal to their total from the previous 21 games combined. So it gives you an idea of the hole that they dug themselves here. We'll head to the seats. Let's take a look at the Royals bullpen here, Spilly. What we expect will be a full capacity night for them.
Yeah, no question. So we like Johnny Holstaff, but how about we switch it up and we call it Joshy Holstaff with Josh on the mound, and then you have to make it count. The relievers coming out of the bullpen have to make their pitches count. You need to record outs.
There's one. As Owen Miller is left frozen on a payoff pitch. Rung up on strikes, 1 down.
Good looking fastball. I think it's always important if you're Taylor to continue to throw strikes. You don't want to get this Royals team behind the 8 ball. So pound the strike zone. Take advantage of it. It's a short sprint for you.
Contreras taking all the way. The player who's reached safely quite a bit lately. 27 of 29 games played this season.
Council's used Contreras in a variety of different spots in the lineup, including leadoff. He's also ranking very high in defensive metrics behind home plate. So Contreras has turned into a really good trade for them.
Brought over from the Braves in a 3-team trade in December, part of the deal that sent Sean Murphy from Oakland to Atlanta in the offseason.
And Murphy's already gained some MVP consideration early on.
Boy, Contreras out of sorts, and will take a dead sprint to the dugout. 2 Ks for Taylor, 2 down in the first.
So for this bullpen in Kansas City today, they are going to get challenged. I love this graphic that's being presented. It gives you an idea of what is available to Q. And Max Castillo is going to be the bulk reliever for the Kansas City Royals today. And there's a bit of a give and take when you have these type of games. It could disrupt the rest of the series for the Royals if the Brewers get into the bullpen early. If they don't, and they've essentially played 16 straight games, if they don't, you're still taxing a bullpen.
Here's Adames. Last 2 years, he's been named the team MVP. You heard from Tricia right off the top. There's no surprise to those who've watched Brewers baseball.
Right.
Roof closed here tonight in Milwaukee. The outfield panels closed as well. Expecting some scattered showers a little bit later tonight. So, yeah, the roof, you might as well use it, and they do quite a bit as this is bounced in the dirt.
Those windows, when you're in the outfield, that's the view from left field. You can, believe it or not, lose a ball in the outfield here, even with the roof.
Oh, no. Where'd he go?
Quick peel down at first. That's interesting. I've heard, some ballparks just with the angles of the lights, you can lose it in the lights, but with the windows and the natural light, you're saying
you can lose it, especially when it's gray skies outside.
Adames, who's been the top slugging shortstop over the last 2 years, 58 home runs. Payoff pitch.
Ball four.
And he takes ball 4. All right, so Adames with a 2-out walk. Take a look at the Kansas City defense here. Olivares, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Melendez from left to right in the outfield. Hunter Dozier gets the start at third base here today. Michael Massey will not play today. Instead of a change to second base with Michael Garcia. And Prado at first, and as mentioned, Fermin behind the plate. Runner goes, throw winds up in center field. And as a result, Adames will take off, head to third, and he's in there. So a stolen base and an E2. And just that quickly, Adames is 90 feet away.
Well, the Royals are second in Major League Baseball in fielding percentage, but this play is not going to capture the Royals defense. This ball just gets away from Fermin, and Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field has one of the better arms. Aggressive base running from Willie. Yeah, vroom vroom. Harley Davidson is built here.
I wonder how aggressive Milwaukee will be today, knowing that it's a bullpen day for the Royals, knowing you can get to them at the beginning of a series here, and knowing that you need to get off the schneid here. Having lost 8 of 10, Yelich digs in. Ball and a strike.
Ball in.
Make it 2-1.
Well, you want to pour it on. I mean, as an offensive group, and this Brewers team has struggled offensively in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, if they can dig into the Royals bullpen today, it sets them up nicely for the weekend.
Hit the other way on the ground, diving stop by Witt, and he has no play at first. It's an infield single for Yelich that drives in a run, and the Brewers strike first.
Well, this goes to show you just using your wheels, and with the Adames, the walk, the stolen base, moving up that extra 90 feet, you get a run scored. Again, it shows the athleticism of Bobby Witt. I mean, this probably should have gone to the outfield. It doesn't.
Ryan Anderson here.
It's the 17th RBI of the season for Christian Yelich.
Brewers 16-4 when they score first this year. And right off the beginning of the game, the Adames effect in full order. Gets the stolen base, gets the extra base.
Pat Murphy, bench coach, going again.
There's Yelich taking off for second, and he's in there. Two steals this inning on Fermin, and Yelich is in scoring position.
And now Yelich is 8 for 8, so if they see something with Josh Taylor, that's an easy read for him. Once you know a lefty's going, it takes a little bit of time. Lefties traditionally, when they do pitch, they're a little bit slower, knowing that they have the natural ability to pick you off.
Off the end of the bat to first. And that'll do it for the Brewers. But they take the lead. Aggressive base running from Adames. And Yelich drives him in.
Cy Young award-winning pitcher Corbin Burns perhaps hasn't gone completely how we'd like. Of course, the contract issues. Take a look at what he said to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel after they went to arbitration. He said there's no denying that the relationship was definitely hurt with the team from what transpired over the last few weeks. He said there's really no way to get around that. The season didn't get any easier for him after that. He then suffered a minor pectoral strain and then got sick, causing him to lose 12 pounds. All of that makes for a challenging start to the year. But guys, Brewers manager Craig Counsell said, listen, he had his best start of his life in Arizona earlier this year. Other than that, probably hasn't been as consistent as he would have wanted it, but he's really just missed a pitch here or there, and that's cost him, guys.
Yeah, it really hasn't been all that much, and of course, very high standards, Tricia, for the 2021 Cy Young Award winner. Faces Michael Garcia here to lead off the second for Kansas City. And he's ahead 1-2.
I think velocity-wise for Burns, he's starting to see a little bit of an uptick.
And he puts away Garcia. Second strikeout. One down.
I just think it's important. A couple things in the case of Corbin Burns. First off, the arbitration process is a flawed system to begin with. I mean, that's essentially it's a mediation between both sides. It's a business practice. It's like a divorce. It's never fun, except you have to remain married to the people. So players in front offices, they never see eye to eye with it. And then the other part for Corbin is, physically, pectoral's going to dampen your velocity.
Prado on the second pitch grounds it up the middle for a base hit. And the first hit of the night for Kansas City belongs to Nick Prado, who has just been outstanding.
Yeah, this guy's red hot right now for the Kansas City Royals. Gets that cut fastball, doesn't move too much. He's just swinging a good stick.
Recalled back on April 28th. He's hit .381 since. In just his second season. Hunter Dozier here, getting a turn at third here tonight.
Well, Burns in the stretch is not great at holding base runners on. Prado has one stolen base attempt and was caught.
Oh, good time.
However, behind home plate, William Contreras is really good at throwing people out. He has one of the faster exchange rates. Good strong arm. He's accurate.
Don't forget, Contreras was an all-star last year behind the plate. Was voted in as a DH. Ball three here to Dozier, who's hitting just .183 on the season. Dozier now in his 7th season, and one of the more veteran players on this Royals roster. There aren't many left, especially among position players. There's a strike. Since the start of 2018, Dozier second among all Royals in games played. Of course, Salvador Perez will have all those marks among active players on the roster. 3-1. Misses low. And two are aboard with one out for the Royals. Second walk for Burns in as many innings.
There's Max Castillo. He's going to be the bulk reliever for the Kansas City Royals. It is strange, Alex, to see Corbin Burns walking as many as he has. I mean, give you a little perspective. In 2021, when Corbin won the Cy Young, 167 innings pitched, he only walked 34 batters. Last season, in 202 innings pitched, he walked 51. This year, he's already at 16. And he's a little bit over 40 innings.
This will be the 31st pitch of the inning here, and Jackie Bradley Jr. digs in. Still trying to find his way at the dish over the last couple seasons. Great still defensively, and that has not seen a drop off whatsoever, but he's just seen lost at the plate the last couple of years. Of course, had that long run with the Red Sox. 188 coming into the day. And Burns misses well outside. Bradley signed with the Brewers, actually. He's a free agent after 9 seasons with Boston, but that was a short-lived tenure here. Bradley, weak ground ball to second. Miller the flip to get 1, and that's all they'll get. Now to retire Dozier as Prado heads to third, 2 down in the inning.
Interesting play for Owen Miller, trying to get the out at second. The way the ball is taken, oftentimes you'll see a second baseman just record the out at first, and you take your chance with 2 runners in scoring position.
And that'll bring up yesterday's hero for Kansas City and Freddie Fermin. Not something you see every day, a walk-off safety squeeze against the White Sox at home. Behind on a fastball here.
Well, Fermin has been swinging the bat really well for Kansas City. And there's a funny story with Fermin. He missed some sacrifice bunt opportunities earlier this year. So Mac Petrero was talking about, first and third, the safety squeeze is really hard to defend. Really hard to defend. So they went with it.
And this was the play yesterday that capped off just the second series victory for the Royals this year.
Gotta love it. Ronaldo Lopez is very difficult to get the ball in the air. So with first and third, 1 out, they said, you know what, let's go safety squeeze, force him to field the baseball, and ends up being a walk-off.
Fermin chasing that pitch, cutter out of the zone. Ball and 2 strikes as Burns looks to get out of the jam. With Prado at third, Bradley at first. And the pitch fouled back. Fermin still classified as a rookie. Made his debut last July, 27 years of age, from Venezuela. Corbin Burns, that strikeout percentage in a 2-strike count has dipped this year. Try to get Fermin to chase. Keep in mind the last start for Burns, 94 pitches, only 56 strikes. Burns comes home, and the count runs full.
Continues to show you Burns is just not quite in his best form. It could be a small mechanical adjustment.
This will be pitch number 40, just 20 strikes. And Fermin lifts one to center, pretty deep. Weimer drifting back in front of the track. He's got a beat on it. And he makes the catch as the Royals strand two in a laborsome inning. Chevrolet, official vehicle of Major League Baseball. To the second in Milwaukee, and the second pitcher of the night for Kansas City is Max Castillo, his second appearance of the season. 23 years of age, originally came up with the Blue Jays, but asked to pitch a little bit of bulk relief here.
Yeah, he's going to have to go through a lineup at least once, and in the case of Castillo, he was recalled early May. Wasn't pitching a ton on the big league roster, but he has logged quite a few innings with the Storm Chasers in Omaha, the AAA team.
Luke Voigt to lead off the second for Milwaukee. Rowdy Tellez on deck. Huge power threat there. As Voigt fouls this back.
I was a little disappointed with you today, Alex. I asked you if I was to match up with Luke Voigt in an arm wrestling contest, who would win? And you kind of danced around it.
No, I didn't dance around it. I said he would win. I thought about it, and I'm like, I looked at his forearms, and I'm like,
You don't think?
Yeah, no.
You don't think these noodles can take on this?
Noodles, yeah, that's probably the accurate word.
I mean, like, I think for what I make up in biceps, I'm like a mongoose.
Towering fly ball, right side and into the seats. That nearly caught one of the catwalks up there. So you don't think you can? So you think you could beat Luke Voigt, who has those massive forearms in a?
No question. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I think I could beat anybody. I mean, but most likely I probably wouldn't win against Luke Voigt.
Yeah. Okay. Against Luke Voigt, we'll just.
I mean, anybody else.
Leave that qualifier in there. Voigt walks here to lead off the inning. Rowdy Tellez comes up.
Atta boy, hey, way to test the center field arm. Not a baby. That is how we play. You play to win the game.
Now Tellez. Is that the kind of chirping you get in the dugout all the time?
Yeah, and that's what you want. And Rowdy has a big personality. I mean, he from Sacramento, he went to Elk Grove High School, legendary high school team that he was a part of.
And Tellez flares one into left. That'll dunk in for a base hit. Voigt stops at second. And the Brewers have something cooking here in the second for the first two men on.
I think what stands out as you're watching Rowdy Tellez, he's a big guy, but he has a very short swing to the baseball. Short and compact. This one catches the changeup off the end of the bat. But for somebody with 10 home runs and a 125 OPS plus, which is a good number to have, he handles the bat like a little guy.
Well, we'll set the stage for Tyrone Taylor here. Going to lay down a bunt, and Prado charging in from first. Dozier is on the bag, mindful of the force at third. About even with the bag with Prado, about 3 steps into the infield grass. Castillo is going to need to locate the strike zone here.
You've heard this from a lot of teams that have used an opener or bullpen games. One of the biggest challenges in these games is every time you swing open the bullpen gate, you're not quite sure if you're going to get a really good strike throwing performance from your reliever. There's a good chance that somebody's not going to be at their best.
Well, the reason why this is a bullpen game for Kansas City, Ryan Yarbrough, remember that scary moment last week. This was supposed to be his turn of the rotation. Of course, that comeback line drive, facial fracture, and he's out for a while now. Daniel Lynch was supposed to kind of fill this spot. He's coming back from an injury. Still hasn't completed his rehab assignment. He's not ready to return, so the Royals are faced with a bullpen day here. Poked on the ground to short. Could be two. The flip to second for one. On to first. And they turn the double play.
This is a beautiful double play. And for Bobby Witt and Garcia up the middle, both guys ranking very high and outs above average. But notice how Bobby kind of walks with it. And that allows it to be a stronger throw to Garcia. It's an easy pivot for him. It's the 31st double play the Kansas City Royals have turned this year.
So Witt keying the 6-4-3 double play. And here's Joey Wiemer. A 24-year-old rookie. Played his college ball in Cincinnati. Had a career day against the Dodgers on Monday. A 3-run homer and a double. Drove in 4 in total. Crossed up there on a changeup. Count 1-1.
Man, right on the side of it. Trying to get Wiemer going.
Popped up. Back of home plate, drifting left side. Dozier makes the catch and ends the threat. So the first two reach for Milwaukee, but they're unable to add to their lead. Youngsters for Kansas City also wearing a mic for us tonight.
Ooh, I forgot the Apple TV games give you the percentages of getting on base on there. Wow, 1-0, it jumped to, or it was 2-0, jumped to 52%. That's pretty good.
Are they allowed to have the live streaming in the dugout? I thought we got rid of that.
No, they don't have live streaming. They're able to look at their at-bats after the at-bat.
Oh, okay, all right.
So there's a research tool that Major League Baseball provides to all teams. They all use the same exact setup. They all get it. So no funny business.
Lest we have that again. Bobby Witt leads things off. 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Kansas City Royals. So yeah, bottom right of your picture, and we had this last year as well. Got a variety of predictive analytics that will show you throughout the game. Strikeout probability, reach base probability, RBI probability. Witt is gone on 3 pitches. Second strikeout for Witt, and the third for Burns. First out of the third.
Well, he might be picking on Bobby Witt. This time he pulls a curveball out against him. Struck him out with the slider the first at bat. Now he goes curveball, just trying to slow him down.
Here's Pasquantino. So anyway, you've heard of all the talk about AI and machine learning. Well, essentially, we're trying to put it to some sort of good purpose as opposed to the not so good purposes, and giving you a little bit of just predictive stuff.
Well, the predictive stuff with Vinny is big personality, lights up a room. He played with Team Italy, and he had an unbelievable time. He also had some high-quality tweets. He went to Japan and played with Team Italy over in Japan. Played for Mike Piazza. Imagine that.
Did it go? No. Well, anybody who has the self-described nickname of the Italian Nightmare, I would imagine would have a big personality.
I have to correct myself. Team Italy played in Taiwan.
Ball and 2 strikes, and Pasquantino with a fly ball, shallow left. Yelich with no trouble. 2 away. Here's Olivares. We'll see if Burns can settle in here after dealing with base runners in the first and the second.
Right.
Olivares, one of 6 Venezuelan players on this Kansas City Royals roster.
Right.
0-2.
Burns has been in the strike zone. And this is where he's gotten away from the strike zones with 2 strikes.
Oh, no.
Only the second ball he's thrown this inning.
One-two.
Oh.
Blown away. Throws that cutter about 50% of the time. Just a little over it.
Oh.
This one bounced in the dirt. And from 0-2 to 3-2. Oh, look out. He lost him in the end.
Isn't that strange? I mean, that's got to be for Chris Hook, the pitching coach for the Milwaukee Brewers. You know, you're just seeing Burns cruise. Gets Edward to 0-2. And then 4 straight. And 3 of those pitches were nowhere near the strike zone.
So they'll bring the cleanup man in Melendez. Over to Checo Olivares, who is 3 for 4 on the base paths this season.
Oh, no. Got time.
It's interesting for MJ. You know, his ability to now square up baseballs and the increase in it, pretty impressive. Matt Chapman's having a career year so far. Connor Joe with Pittsburgh. Staying in the strike zone, firing off your best swing.
Oh.
Melendez drove in 4 runs Monday in a 12-5 rout over the White Sox. And among everyday players, he has the best hard hit percentage on this Royals team. 3 balls and a strike. There goes the runner, and it's ball 4 anyway. And Corbin Burns, from cruising through the first 2 batters of this inning and nearly the third, has back-to-back walks, and he's going to get a visit. Chris Hook will go out to have a chat.
So for Corbin Burns, notice a little difference from in 2022. Now we say it was like he was reaching for the wallet but didn't all the way go down and grab it. So a little bit shorter of an arm swing in 2023. He's grabbing the wallet now. So there's a lot more extension, a little bit longer arm swing. And as a byproduct, we're even seeing his overall extension of his release point is longer than it has been. There he is again. It's really getting way below the belt, which is not normal for Corbin Burnes. So I don't know if it has anything to do with an adjustment he's made or feeling something out with the pectoral muscle, which he hurt earlier on, but that is not his normal arm swing.
There's Garcia.
And it's strange too, right, Alex? I mean, he had Olivares 0-2, and since then, I mean, it's not being able to put him away has added on 11 pitches this inning.
You mentioned it earlier too that a lot of these pitches that are missing are non-competitive, which, I mean, if you're trying to give a look to get a guy to chase, if not on this at bat, then on a later one, you're not accomplishing that goal, right?
Yeah, if it's out of the hand, you know it's a ball. Makes it so much easier to face a former Cy Young who has been one of the most dominant National League starters.
Got Olivares at second, Melendez at first. Garcia, who was called up on May 2nd to replace the injured Nicky Lopez. 23-year-old rookie takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Ball two, and Burnes, who has pitched himself into this jam, trying to scratch his way out of it. That's the second disengagement for Burnes in this at bat. Pitch clock resets to 20. Burnes comes home, and they got it. Fourth strikeout for Burnes, and it comes at an important juncture as the Royals leave two, and it's still 1-0 Brewers. Presented by Chevrolet. Alex Faust, Ryan Spilbergs, Tricia Whitaker here with you in Milwaukee. The Brewers a half game back of the Pirates in the NL Central, facing a Kansas City Royals team that on the surface is 15 games under 500, but seemingly has turned things around. 1, 2, and 3 for the Brewers here. Miller, Contreras, Adames. And quickly Owen Miller behind 0-2 against Max Castillo in his second inning of work. Miller, who struck out looking, cranks this one to left, deep, and gone.
This ball is just crushed to left field. And Owen Miller, who's from Wisconsin, gets to roll out the barrel and force Bernie the Brewer to go down the slide and throw on the old trusty cheesehead.
First homer of the season for Owen Miller, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
That's got to feel cool. If you're Owen Miller, home state, throw on the cheesehead.
First as a Brewer in this park.
Well, you get a hanging slider. And for Miller last season, was with the Cleveland Guardians, and Tito Francona put him in a bunch of different spots. Milwaukee likes him a lot. Short load. And everything through it. Beautiful swing.
So after Contreras grounds out on one pitch, it's Willie Adames, who scored on the Yelich infield single. Owen Miller, this is the second straight year he's off to a great start. You mentioned with Cleveland last year, hit 400 in the month of April with them, slumped in May and June. This year, approaching 300 with the Brewers, and the first month plus of the season. 3-0 to Adames here.
Timeout for the batter.
Adames calls time. Three-1. Way up in the zone. Adames with the whiff.
Nothing better than going to the dugout after you hit a homer and you talk to your friends about it.
Called strike 3. And Adames is rung up. During the commercial break, Trisha Whitaker caught up with Royals manager Matt Quartero for our manager interview presented by Sage.
All right, you got a hit and a few walks off Corbin Burnes. Tell me what you're seeing from him and how you guys can capitalize.
Well, that cutter looks tough. He's locating it down in a way. Our guys have done a good job laying off some of the borderline ones, but we're going to have to force him into the zone and do something with it going the other way probably.
Nick Prado, a base hit early in this game off of Corbin. He's been a spark plug for you guys ever since he was recalled. What are you seeing from him?
Man, he really controls the zone well. When he gets his pitch, he hasn't missed it, and he does damage to all fields.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Guys, back to you.
Oh, comebacker off of Castillo. And Castillo will take a look at his glove hand, make sure everything's okay there. Yelich with a hard ground ball for the third out of the inning. 94 off the bat.
Twins, a game you can also see here on Apple TV Plus. Bottom second, Michael A. Taylor. Ground ball to third. Farmer scores. Taylor reaches 1-0 Minnesota. They tacked on another run in that inning. We now have ourselves a 2-1 ball game in the bottom of the fourth, Alex.
Yeah, a lot of folks keeping tabs around the division in what is by win percentage the weakest in the National League and the NL Central. Of course, the Twins off to a pretty good start. We head to the top of the fourth here. Prado, Dozier, Bradley, 6, 7, and 8 due up for Kansas City. 2-0 Brewers. This despite Corbin Burnes with a strike percentage that's hovered in the low 50s in this game. 3 walks tonight, tying a season high.
But even with his struggles, because of the cut fastball and how good his stuff is, he can still wiggle his way out of virtually any jam. It's also, you know, when we're showing you the late movement of the cut fastball, I mean, for Corbin Burnes, it's not like traditionally where you throw a baseball and that's where it's supposed to go. He has to anticipate how much it's going to move.
So in a sense, control, but not really.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we have this with our kids. I ask them to like wash their hands, and it doesn't mean that they're going to go wash their hands. They might not. I might give them a direction, but they might not actually go ahead and do it.
Payoff lifted into shallow center, and that will be caught by Weimer, who has good range in center field. During the break, Trisha Whitaker caught up with Brewers manager Craig Counsell. Our manager interview is presented by Sage.
All right, we will start with Owen Miller and that solo shot. That was a nice swing on that ball, and he's been off to a hot start from you. What's impressed you about him?
Yeah, Owen's been really versatile for us, done a lot, and he's just have good at-bats. He's good, just a good hitter. He squares the ball up a lot.
Corbin Burnes, he's gotten himself into some jams, but he's gotten out of all of them. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, he's had a little command troubles, but he's made pitches when he's need to, and hopefully just get an iron out. The stuff is really good.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thanks, Trisha. Yeah. It's interesting how the night has progressed for Burns, but he has a 2-0 lead here, and Hunter Dozier at the plate. What a thrill it must be for Owen Miller.
Oh, no.
Guy who grew up in this area. As Burns was hoping for the strikeout to walk off the mound.
He was hoping not for location to be called, but on the check swing. Well, he might have had a pretty decent argument.
Scalded into left for a base hit. And Dozier is aboard with 1 out.
And Kansas City really wants to get Hunter Dozier going. You know, offensively, he's a big weapon when he swings the bat well. The ball was 108 miles an hour off the bat, just out of the reach of Willie Adames.
There's Bradley. Just a note, I mentioned 3 walks. It's actually 4 for Burns here tonight, which is a season high. Bradley 0 for 1, reaching on a fielder's choice. Infield double play depth.
I kind of joke around about giving direction to a kid and then having him follow it. Corbin Burns in 2019, when he was in AAA, there's a wonderful story about a mental skills coach named Brian Kane that gave him a simple checklist of things that he could control over the course of the day. The first one, make your bed.
Bradley is retired. 2 away.
It's kind of fun when you think about certain players, and there's a good look at Corbin Burns, big curveball to Jackie Bradley Jr. But as good as some of these athletes are, how they got here usually starts with a simple task, something that you can control. And for Corbin, those simple tasks turned into eventually a Cy Young.
So often you hear athletes talk about process over results. That was the case for Burns as Fermin digs in here with a man aboard and 2 away. 2019, you talked about it in the open. He felt that season was a kick in the teeth. Sliced into center, coming on is Weimer, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Still 2-0 Brew Crew. Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet. Alongside the 7-year MLB veteran Ryan Spilbergs, Alex Faust, Trisha Whitaker here with you. There is the legend, Bob Uecker, the subject of this week's Siri trivia question. Just ask Siri, what was Bob Uecker's character's name in Major League? Well, the answer for you in just a bit. I had to pop in there. I was a little bit nervous. I told you earlier, it's like, should I go in and make an introduction? Okay, I stopped in the WTMJ booth and said hello. And he's what a character in real life.
Isn't he fun?
Yeah.
You know what's amazing about Bob, and I mean, he grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he really has this personality that's unlike anything I've ever been around. The fact that he's been on Johnny Carson, and could make Johnny Carson laugh, and he's proven to a lot of major leaguers you don't have to be the best player on the field to have a career off the field.
Line up the middle for a base hit. Ryan Anderson leads off the 4th with a single. And by the way, if you are interested in hearing the call from either hometown radio announce position. You can just click on the little toggle and check out the radio call for either team.
That's right. One of my favorite things about Bob, I was giving a thumbs up. My favorite things about Bob, if you spend any time with him, he brings you in. He also threw batting practice for years with the Milwaukee Brewers. Always. He would go down through batting practice, and that's how he got a chance to know the players. I mean, he's never lost sight of how hard the game is, and he's always poured himself back into this Brewers franchise.
Luke Voigt at the plate here, behind 0-2. Better known as Popeye to you.
I was going to go over the top. You ever seen that movie, Sylvester Stallone?
No. Voigt is down on 3 pitches. Rowdy Tellez coming to the plate, wearing a mic for us here tonight.
Hey, taking the shift away has hurt me. I hit balls like ground balls with 2 strikes. Third baseman's there now.
Interesting. Wow, he's the first one where I've heard that. Okay.
Yeah, that flare into left his first time.
I haven't heard too many players complain about the non-shift rules. Certainly haven't heard much complaints about the new pace of play rules at this point. Now you're shaving 30 minutes off a major league game. A lot more dinners are being met. And here in Milwaukee, one of the criticisms about the shorter pace of game is, what do you do with sales of adult beverages? The Brewers extended it through the 8th inning, so they were actually selling adult beverages after the 8th or into the 8th inning, and they realized about a week ago, you know what? We're not seeing a huge jump in sales.
This is a good beer town. I'm sure you can find some suds post-game readily available. Tellez, weak ground ball up the first base side. Castillo off the mound to make the flip. 2 down.
Time out. Nice.
Well, Castillo, despite giving up the home run to Miller, otherwise has been okay. 3 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Got that big 6-4-3 double play to help get himself out of a jam in the second. Again, being asked to provide bulk relief here in a bullpen day for Kansas City. Tyrone Taylor grounded into that double play. Steps in with a runner at second and 2 gone.
And at Castillo's last outing, it was 47 pitches, but he is stretched out. We mentioned he was in AAA with the Omaha Storm Chasers, so he's stretched out for far more than 50-ish pitches.
Line up the middle for a base hit. Anderson being waved around third. Here comes the throw from Bradley, and it's 3-0 Milwaukee. An RBI single for Taylor.
You get the leadoff base runner on, and you want to find a way to capitalize. This one from Taylor, he has a slider. He just sits with it, drops into his backside, and rips it right up the middle. Now, Jackie Bradley Jr., he makes the right throw. It's a good throw to home plate. Prado at first probably should have cut it off and got the out at second.
Instead, Taylor gets to second on the throw. And it's 3-0 Brewers. Here's Joey Weimer.
Oh, no. Did he go?
And the hardest decision for a first baseman is when you do have a throw. It's in front of you. You can kind of see the base runner, but you don't know if the lead runner has a chance to get thrown out at home.
Strike two.
So one of the things that happens in these plays is you'll hear the catcher screaming, let it go, or cut it. In this case here, you can tell the sound of the audience makes it really difficult to hear, especially when your back is against the catcher.
Again, Jackie Bradley Jr. for years has been one of the best defensive center fielders.
He's so smooth. Like PB and J, just smothering the outfield with his routes.
So look out in the Royals dugout.
JBJ has a good arm, so does Tyrone Taylor. Taylor has a good arm in the outfield as well.
Castillo's pitch fouled back. Trying to limit the damage here in the fourth.
There's that changeup. He wants to get to it.
Ball and 2 strikes to Weimer. And he spoils another one. For a while regarded as one of the top prospects for Milwaukee. 4th round pick in 2020. A lot of speed, great range in the field, figuring things out at the plate. As much as one can as a major league rookie. It's a nice take. The count evens 2-2.
One of the biggest challenges whenever you have a really good skill set is to hone it. That could have been a strike for Max Castillo with the slider. That's why he took a quick little break. He needs to get a pitch off.
And he's going to step off to avoid the pitch clock violation. Nobody warming in the Kansas City pen. And the way they've been swinging the bats, 3 certainly reasonable, but don't let that get out of reach. A strikeout for Castillo to end the inning. But a run on 2 hits and a man left stranded for Milwaukee. They extend the lead to 3-0. This week, it is match day 12 for MLS tomorrow. An MLS season pass for Royals fans. Sporting Kansas City is at home against Minnesota United, the Loons. Coverage begins at 6:55 p.m. Eastern exclusively on the Apple TV app. Top of the 5th in Milwaukee. And the top of the order for the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. lead things off. Still looking to break through after 4 walks. Have certainly set up some opportunities. They've had a base runner in every inning, the Royals, but have stranded a grand total of 6 so far.
Well, this is the challenge with Corbin Burnes, is even though he's up against the ropes, as soon as he settles in and starts locating, he can just go right through a lineup. And Bobby Witt Jr. right now is at the mercy of Corbin Burnes.
Pitch number 83 for Burnes here. Low and in.
And overall for Corbin Burnes, he's usually in the strike zone close to 50% of the time. This evening, he's below 40%.
What's interesting is that he's gotten ahead of hitters. 14 out of the 19 he's faced, first pitch strikes. And on multiple occasions, winds up losing these guys. Count runs full here on Witt, who he struck out twice tonight. And Witt stays alive. This is now 6 full counts for Corbin Burnes.
From Bakersfield, went to St. Mary's, and has turned into a complete stud for the Brewers.
There's payoff, and Witt gets a piece of it.
And this Brewers team, from a pitching staff standpoint, especially when you consider the landscape of starting pitchers and overall salaries, this is one of the most affordable front-end starting groups in Major League Baseball. Brandon Woodruff is down for a couple more months.
Witt hits one in the air, deep right center. Weimer tracks it down for the first out. Vinny Pasquantino wearing a mic for us tonight. Let's listen in again.
Mom, you don't have to take pictures. There's people here that do that. There's professionals that take pictures at games.
That's a classic mom moment.
Yeah, I got my phone. That's his mom, Jennifer. Did not see Dennis if he's around. This guy's hilarious. So he grew up in Virginia, and he's a massive Jets fan. You want to know why? Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, okay.
QB with the Jets, and he was like, hey, there's another Vinny out there. So he became a huge Jets fan.
Was he 25 and a Vinny Testaverde? Like that would be like when he was really little.
So he's always,
I grew up with that guy.
He's always had a big personality. Love it.
Thank you.
I wonder if he got a kick out of all the NFL schedule release videos that popped out.
You know what? When we were walking around the clubhouses, the players for both teams were playing they're.
Yeah, the Titans won it.
That was
sure.
Oh yes. Grounded to first. And on a couple of hops, it's Tellez, who jogs to the bag, gives a little pat on the rear end to Corbin Burnes. 2 away, and no pictures of the ground out for Mom.
Moms are always proud. Yeah. Good look at the swing on the side, and for Vinny, I mean, he's swinging the bat well. Come on, Vinny.
There's Olivares. Pasquantino played his college ball at Old Dominion. Of the Richmond, Norfolk region powers. On the ground at first, Tellez to his left, Burnes off the mound to receive the throw on a 1-2-3 fifth for Corbin Burnes. Of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Bob Uecker through the years, still hoping that they can get him a World Series.
Must be in the front row.
Now the answer to our Siri trivia question. What was Bob Uecker's character's name in Major League? Of course, it was Harry Doyle.
So a bunch of the lines in that movie in Major League.
This is shot to right, slicing into the corner, and a diving play from Melendez to snag that ball before it could reach the wall. May have saved an extra base. Owen Miller with a leadoff double. Could have been a triple if not for the athletic play of Melendez.
Yeah, Melendez is normally a catcher, and he has transitioned into the outfield, and he likes it for himself. Owen Miller's having himself a night. He has leadoff hitter today. Kind of thought with his bullpen game that he would get 1 or 2 turns against some lefties. But after he hit a homer, the council's not going to flip the lineup at all. He was considering maybe using Bryce Turang if a righty came in. He does not look like that's going to be a deal for Miller tonight.
Now a 14-game on-base streak for Miller after the solo home run in the third. As Contreras takes ball 2 inside. And as mentioned earlier, just as impressive as that on-base streak, hits in 13 of 14 now for Miller. 3-0. How long will this long relief be for Max Castillo? Leadoff man in scoring position, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Contreras. Now pitching around them, it looked like. Runners at first and second now. And a man they call Q. I wonder what decision might come next.
Well, he needs to make a phone call to the bullpen for your next possible reliever, but he's paying close attention to the score.
Here's Adames. Trish, you have more on the Royals?
I absolutely do. And on manager Matt Quattaro, he was hired this offseason from the Rays, where he served as the bench coach. And if you know the Rays, you know it's a data-driven franchise. And Royals CEO and chairman John Sherman expressed the need for more data-driven decisions this offseason. So they certainly got the manager for the job who knows the inside workings of what the Rays did for the 3 seasons he was there. He said, honestly, he said, I learned lineup construction. If you have guys that are specialists, you got to get them in that order. He said it's cliche, but putting guys in the best spots to have success, it might not be what they expect, but he said one other thing I took from the Rays, explaining that to the players is important. Communication with data-driven decisions is key, guys.
Thanks, Tricia. Adames on the ground, slow roller to short. Witt makes a nice play. Had to come a long way to field that ball. And it gets the first out. Miller and Contreras both advance.
So you'll take it if you're Adames. It ends up being a team at bat. Nice little flick of the wrist from Bobby Witt.
And here's the spot for Yelich. To pad the lead. Infield in.
And Bobby Witt with a little Michael Jordan.
Little tongue out. Yelich 1 for 2 with an RBI. Holds a swing here. It's 2-0. Infield single drove in Adames in the first. Prado's taking a couple steps back at first.
Wouldn't you? I don't want to be that close.
Especially with how hard it came off the bat. Back to Castillo in the comebacker last time.
Yeah, close to 110 miles an hour for Christian Yelich, and they're just going to bypass Yelich, load the bases, and put themselves in a double play scenario against the right-hander Brian Anderson.
First intentional pass for Yelich this year, and the bases are loaded for Brian Anderson. Thrust into a starting role earlier this year, the injury to Luis Arias. And Anderson launches one foul. That would have been gone.
And tell immediately off the bat, changeup from Castillo. Notice how Brian Anderson just sees it and he just stays there. He's like, ah. That's just a long strike.
Tap back to the mound. Castillo, the flip to home for the force. On to first. It's a double play. A huge double play for the Royals. Spoiling a bases-loaded one-out situation for the Brewers.
Probably the toughest play in baseball is the 1-2-3 double play. The 1-2-3 double play. It's easy to count. It's hard for catchers to put their foot on the plate. And beyond that, you can really fire up a team when you get out of a jam.
And how massive will that double play loom in this game? Corbin Burns into the 6th here as he faces the middle third of the order for the Royals. Melendez, Garcia, Prado. Burns coming into this inning with 93 pitches, now up to 95. A season high.
This game, it's funny how at one play, because the Royals are not warming up anybody yet, and they continue to look at the score to make the next decision.
I think that's what we got the vibe from talking to Cotrero earlier today. He's playing to the score. He's not playing just to what the book says to do.
So there's different ways to do it. You can do it to a pocket of the lineup.
Strike 3 called on Melendez. And the 6th strikeout for Burns to begin the 6th.
Burns has used the curveball multiple times to get the backward strikeout looking. Maybe just down. Melendez is walking down with it. Now Melendez handles pitches down in the strike zone as well as any hitter.
First time tonight we see activity in the Milwaukee bullpen. Yoel Piops is tossing. There he is. Garcia at the plate, 0 for 2 tonight. Just looking at the scoreboard here, Baltimore leading Pittsburgh, so a chance for Milwaukee to retake first place in the NL Central. Weimer drifting back a couple of steps in front of the warning track to make the catch on a long out for Garcia. And he's now 0 for 3 tonight.
A different usage of pitches tonight for Corbin Burns. He's not been quite in the strike zone as much as he wants, but he still continues that grind through the start. He's not giving up a run yet. 93 pitches thrown, 59 on the cutter. Said this earlier, his zone percentage, the amount of pitches he's thrown into the strike zone, is one of the lowest for this season in a start.
And despite that, he's retired 7 batters in a row. By far the best stretch of this game as he goes to the order for the 3rd time. Ahead 0-2 here on Prado. Called strike 3. 8 retired in a row for Corbin Burns. 6 scoreless for the Milwaukee Ace. And it's still 3-0 Brewers through 5.5.
With your Apple Studio update, let's get you out to Baltimore. Bottom 8, Pirates 0, Cedric Mullins. How about this? 3-run shot to complete the cycle and give Baltimore a 4-run lead. Second player to hit for the cycle this season.
Well, final there in Baltimore, LG. So the Pirates continue to struggle after their hot start. And the door is ajar again for the Brewers to reassume first place in the NL Central, a place they've been for 20 days this year. But man, it's this month it seems like every team in the division cannot put it together.
No. The Pirates are such a good story. They were on a tear. They go to Tampa. They just lost their mojo. They took on some pretty good teams. They took on Tampa. Lost the series to Toronto. Baltimore's good now.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch. We're going to have them next week. Orioles and Blue Jays. What should be a really fun series up in Toronto. Luke Voigt here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Launches 1 foul. Still, it is Max Castillo working into the 6th. There is activity in the Kansas City pen. Jose Quas tossing. A couple of moments ago, I saw Aroldis Chapman stirring as well.
Oh, no.
Count runs full here on Voigt.
Well, Castillo's put this Royals team in a position to compete and give their offense, who has led in the month of May in virtually every offensive category in Major League Baseball. They have just been prevented by Corbin Burns.
Voigt into left for a leadoff single. He's needed to put together some hits. Just 222 on the year coming in.
Yeah, still has yet to hit a home run for the Brewers. It's been close a couple times. A walk and a knock for him today.
Voigt, who signed a minor league deal with an invite to spring training, beat out Keston Hiura for the backup first base role. DHing tonight and aboard to begin the bottom of the 6th. Ball outside Rowdy Tellez. Home runs in the season for Tellez, 9 of them against right-handed pitching. There's a strike.
Nah, it had a little bit, yeah.
Tellez entering the weekend top 5 of the National League in home runs early this season.
Well, the Brewers as an organization, they've hit 44 home runs on the season, which is 12th in Major League Baseball. And as Brewers team, last couple seasons, they have relied on the homer along with some walk, quality defense, really good pitching staff, and Craig Counsell.
Well, Milwaukee, remember, hit the 2nd most home runs in baseball last year behind the Braves. This lineup is built for pop from the 2 spot on down.
Well, and homers come in bunches, so that's the one thing. You know Luke Voigt's going to run into some homers at some point. Taylor, who's on deck last year, hit 17. He's going to hit some homers. There's Rowdy spoiling a pitch away. Goes back to, he really can command for a big fella the strike zone.
Count runs full, and we'll see when Castillo will reach the end of his outing tonight. Pitch number 77 will happen momentarily.
Well, Rowdy leads the Brewers in home runs. He said it with 10. But it's not just that he pulls home runs. He can use the big part of the field. He's not hit an opposite field home run yet. It's a little difficult at Miller Park. Actually, American Family Field.
Payoff pitch with the leadoff man Voit aboard. Tellez lines one foul just in front of it on the changeup.
At this point for Castillo, you are definitely at the end of the line.
Quas is ready in the Kansas City pen. Tellez fouls it straight back. A terrific at bat for Rowdy Tellez.
If you're Castillo, you're just trying to get one more. See if you can get a double play baseball. A ball on the ground. And he's trying to get the ball on the ground. That's why he's gone multiple times to the changeup. So he might have just did one more fastball to set up the changeup.
Tellez strikes out, and the throw winds up in center field with Voit taking off. So after a long at bat, Castillo gets the better of him, and what an outing.
Yeah, really nice outing for Castillo. It throws a slider instead of the changeup. Tellez swings through it. Another ball into the outfield.
It's the second time tonight. Castillo departs after 4 1/3, keeping the Royals in this game. 3-0 Brewers. Live or on demand with at-bats, plus watch all of minor league baseball and live look-ins on MLB Big Inning. No blackouts. Visit MLB.com/at-bat for details. You can stream every game for free this Mother's Day weekend on MLB.tv. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Nothing like the famous sausage race in Milwaukee in super slow motion. New pitcher for Kansas City. Jose Quas in his side armor goes to work against Tyrone Taylor.
Oh, Quas is such a wonderful story of perseverance. He was originally drafted out of the University of Maryland as a position player. Converted to a pitcher. He used to throw over the top. Got released. Was a FedEx delivery driver in the offseason. Had children. Went and continued his journey through the independent with the Long Island Ducks. Started throwing sidearm, which is what he did when he was an infielder. Threw from that arm angle.
Well, when the pandemic hit, I mean, he was out of work like so many and went to get some extra work. And it's amazing his journey back, as you mentioned, through independent ball. Check swing foul ball from Taylor.
Well, the most amazing part about it is, you know, when you consider an infielder and the different arm angles that they throw in, sometimes the most accurate arm angle that you can throw in is that sidearm action, which is what Quas does. That's what he did when he was an infielder. He threw from down here.
Strikeout for Taylor.
That's just nasty. 94 miles an hour up. And he threw from that arm angle. It is really hard for a hitter because it's a different spot. They're uncomfortable. You hear us talking about the upshoot fastball. You throw from an angle like that, you throw it at the top of the strike zone, and it is really hard to square out.
Voss, who was released by the Brewers back in 2018, faces Joey Wiemer here with 2 away and a runner in scoring position, Luke Voigt.
And just picture him as a third baseman making that throw across the infield. Now he's just doing it at 60 feet 6 inches.
Fly ball. Right field, Melendez underneath it. And after the leadoff single from Voigt, he is left stranded. We head to the 7th, still 3-0.
For Corbin Burns, might not look as pretty to him at the end, but it worked out well. Final at bat against Nick Prado. With curveball, cutter, scream into the glove. Take that strikeout looking. 7 punch outs on the night for Corbin Burns.
Oh, what a night. 6 scoreless. After going 6 and allowing 5 with 2 earned last Friday against San Francisco. So the new pitcher for Milwaukee is Yoel Payamps. Comes out of the pen for his first appearance since the end of the Brewers' last series Wednesday against the Dodgers.
Now 17th appearance for Payamps. He's got good stuff. I saw him last week in Colorado. Big arm, fastball, slider. And he's on the extreme third base side of the rubber. So a little bit of a crossfire makes it difficult for righties to hit him.
3-1 here to Hunter Dozier. It is, of course, Mother's Day weekend. Trish, you have more?
Yeah, guys, Rowdy Tellez has a very special glove he wears, and it represents the memory of his mother who passed in 2018 of brain cancer. Right on his glove is a tribute for her, and it says forever playing for mom. He's been wearing it ever since 2018. He told me today he's got it on just about everything, his cleats as well. He used to wear number 44 before coming to the Brewers, and so the 4 is his way of incorporating his number with his mom's honor. And guys, you can bet it's especially meaningful for him to wear on Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that, Trish. Strike 3 call on Dozier, and Payamps has retired the first man of the 7th.
That's just a well-located. Started at the right hip of Hunter Dozier, frees him. Again, gives you an idea. He's on that extreme third base side and how hard it is for a right-handed hitter to stay connected to their body.
So here's Bradley. And quickly an 0-2 hole. Bradley pops it up. Back of home plate. Contreras with the helmet in one hand casually makes the catch with the other.
Yeah, normally you don't see this. The catcher will throw the helmet and the mask and go 2 hands. He's like, nah, I got this one.
He did watch it all the way into the glove, though, as you're taught, so. That'll bring up for me.
Well, he might have just lost a strike on that last baseball, so he was pretty cool making the catch, but he just lost a strike.
The question, when will these Kansas City bats come to life? That loss of a strike you were talking about. Oh, this is crushed. Deep left field, way back there, and gone! Freddie Fermin. His 3rd home run of the season. A solo shot to put Kansas City on the board.
Well, you just asked for Kansas City offense to show up because they have been leading Major League Baseball in the month of May in virtually every single offensive category. And for me yesterday, sacrifice safety squeeze to win a game, and now you put on the gladiator mask.
As one does. Now, this is shot into left, but it stays up there for Yelich, who puts it away. A solo home run from the number 9 man. A sac bunt, or a bunt to win it one day, a solo shot the next. Plus presented by Chevrolet. Alex Faust, Ryan Spilbergs, Trisha Whitaker here with you in Milwaukee. The Royals are on the board. Just their 3rd hit of the game, a solo home run for Freddie Fermin. And a new pitcher for the Royals, Josh Stallman, comes in as he faces the leadoff man, Owen Miller, here in the 7th.
Well, this guy throws hard. Josh went to Azusa Pacific. Oh, no. He's touched 102 in his career. Now, the Royals bullpen, they lead Major League Baseball in strikeouts as a bullpen. So they are racking them up. It's just some of the other numbers are not so pretty.
Their bullpen ERA on the whole kind of tracking with how their starters ERA has been this year. 27th out of 30 in Major League Baseball. Miller, hard ground ball, through for a base hit. His 3rd hit of the night. And Owen Miller is a triple shy of the cycle.
And Miller's playing exceptionally well tonight. A homer in the 3rd, a double in the 5th, and now you just rip a single up the middle. Now Kansas City's looking for a shutdown inning. You get the home run. And the Brewers are answering right back. 7th inning stretch. You roll out the barrel.
I bring up Contreras. He's crossed up in an off-speed pitch. Contreras reaching safely for the 28th time in 30 games this year with a walk in the 5th. Hard fastball out of the zone. 96. Appeared to cross up for me behind the plate.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He crossed him up. This is what's amazing. Give you an idea. So he's looking off speed and he gets a fastball. This is why we point out that hitting is the hardest thing in the world, because if a catcher who is trained to catch a baseball doesn't know what the pitch is, they can't catch it.
And again, if you weren't with us earlier, Salvador Perez not in the lineup. Could be available, though I doubt that they would go in that direction, even if needed. With a little bit of blurry vision, there he is. Late scratch today. He's dealt with that problem in the past. A little bit of fluid buildup that they had to treat. 3 balls and a strike to Contreras. Ball 4. Two on, nobody out for the Brewers. Look at the NL Central standings, and again the Pirates have lost to Baltimore, so as of right now a tie atop the division. A win for the Brewers puts them back in first place. This is game 4 of a 6-game homestand for Milwaukee. Here's Adames. And it skips away from Fermin, and both runners will advance. Wild pitch, more than likely.
This is frustrating if you're a Royals fan. They've been playing really, really well, and this is kind of like the reason why the record is what it is. Get a base hit, a walk, wild pitch. And they are in every bit of this game. They've already walked out of an inning earlier in the 5th. Bases loaded, 1 out. Got a double play. It's not available now. Let's see what Willie's arguing. I think he's saying his bat hit Fermin's glove, and he's asking for catcher's interference. And he's going to get it.
I'll bring Craig Counsell out of the dugout for the Brewers.
It is a reviewable play.
Milwaukee is challenging the hit by pitch or foul ball.
Yeah, so challenging that the ruling on the field was a foul ball, looking for catcher's interference. Replay review powered by Zoom.
Brewers are going to get this, and it'll go down as an error on Fermin.
Take a look at the replay review center in New York. So even that slight bit of contact, right? That's even by the book.
Even without a full swing.
After review on the field is overturned, it is catcher's interference. Batter runner to first base.
So Adames is given first. And the bases are now loaded for the Brewers. There's one more look. Man, that is so slight, but
yeah.
So like you said, by the book.
By the book, and it's. I mean, even if you hit a foul ball and you hit the catcher's glove, it's still catcher's interference. So any scenario where the bat hits the catcher's glove during the at-bat, it's catcher's interference. E2.
Here's Yelich. You have Miller at third, Contreras at second, Adames at first. And the Brewers looking to pull away late. Strike one to Yelich. Yelich was given an intentional pass to load the bases in the 5th. And then the Royals just wiggled out of it with that 1-2-3 double play.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Check on third, and Yelich held his swing. Ball 2. With the bases loaded in his career, Yelich a .294 hitter with 4 career grand slams. Yelich up the middle, base hit. That'll plate at least one. They're going to hold up the runner at third and having to scamper back to second. The out is recorded on Adames. Wow. A flare base hit for Yelich, but the stop sign was given to Contreras at third. Miller scores. It's 4-1 Milwaukee, but a base runner is erased.
Yeah, Jason Lane, the third base coach for the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah, I don't blame Willie Adames. Watch, it's in front of him. He expects Contreras to take the turn. An aggressive play from Adames, but he was expecting Contreras to have a better read with the chance to score on that hit.
So 8-4 to retire Adames. Contreras now at third. Yelich at first. With his second run batted in tonight. Brian Anderson at the plate. And Anderson goes the other way in the air. Melendez coming on. Has to let it drop in front of him. And the Brewers tack on another. An RBI single for Anderson. And it's 5-1 Milwaukee.
A second hit for Anderson. And it's not easy to get hits off Josh Staumont. I mean, the league is hitting close to 120 against him. So back-to-back singles. And this inning could easily get out of hand. Easily.
Still just one out. Activity for Kansas City. Amir Garrett, their usual setup man. Line right to second, played on one hop by Garcia. He'll jog to the bag to get one in turn two. How important might that double play be? Still, the Brewers tack on a couple, and it's 5-1 at the end of 7.
Like you see a shadow or something, so I was sleeping every light on. So I was like, I'm sleeping with the lights on, the windows open, like, but then I was like scared to look like at the window because I was like, what if I see a reflection I don't want to see? So then like the TV would, like I would change the channel or something and it would just be like a reflection of me, and I was like, I would look away. I would legitimately look away.
All right.
So, I mean, there's this story of a team hotel where most visiting teams stay. And it's haunted.
Okay.
It's haunted. Mookie Betts, Dodgers are in town. Nope.
Sure.
VRBO.
Here's Vinny Pasquantino facing the new pitcher for Milwaukee, Peter Strzelecki.
Yeah, Strzelecki's a fun reliever for Milwaukee. Different arm angle. Good fastball slider. It's been really hard to score upon.
Fly ball that's caught here for the first out of the inning. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by Chevrolet, official vehicle of Major League Baseball, and sponsored in part by MLB The Show 23, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch systems, rated E for everyone. So a quick first out, retiring Pasquantino.
Strzelecki has turned into the 8th inning reliever for Craig Counsell. It used to be Devin Williams. Devin Williams has now been upgraded to the 9th inning. He's now the closer for Milwaukee. This happened last year when Josh Hader was traded.
Defensive change for Milwaukee. We thought we would see Bryce Terang this evening, and there he is, entering the game here in the 8th. Montego in Miller's spot in the lineup. 2 to Olivares, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Begging for a 0 for 2 tonight. Another walk. All inside, 2-2. 5-1 Milwaukee. Adding 2 in the 7th. How big does that insurance feel at this stage of the game?
4-run lead. 4-run is right where you want to be. And if you can get 5-run, 4-run, you still can get caught up with a grand slam.
High fly ball, deep center field. Weimer drifting back. And 1 step onto the track. Makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
I want to go back to Vinny Pasquantino because the legend of the haunted hotel in Milwaukee is warranted. I mean, there's NBA teams that avoid the hotel. There are major league teams that have had encounters, multiple times.
Encounters?
Yes.
So why do they keep booking the hotel if it's got the reputation there?
Good rates.
The travel coordinator is happy. Mom is not happy though. Pasquantino 0 for 3. Mother's Day on Sunday. Will this be another frustrating night? A line of many for the Royals this year. A team that wasn't expected to win the division by any stretch, but mired in their 6th consecutive losing season. Thought they would take a step. Took them a while to get there. This is game number 40 of the season. Melendez cracks one deep to right, and it is reeled in by Taylor for a 1-2-3-8.
Cause we moving in, yeah. This time I came with friends, yeah. With my team we aim to win, yeah. Right now the show begins. Time to go. It's time to go right now. Get ready.
Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet. Alex Faust, Ryan Spielbergs, Trisha Whitaker here with you in Milwaukee. 5-1 lead for the Brewers. A win. We'll see them go back into first place in the National League Central. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Milwaukee. Rowdy Tellez to lead things off in the 8th against the new pitcher for the Royals, Amir Garrett. Comes into the game making his 18th appearance.
Yeah, Amir spent a lot of time in Cincinnati, has one of the better sliders when he's right.
He had an unusual situation as he faces Tellez here. 1 for 3 on the night. Garrett faced one hitter, struck him out looking on Tuesday against the White Sox. Came off the mound a little unusual, almost looked like he was injured. But then he started woozy and walking around, having trouble with his balance. He actually kind of lost his lunch on the field. A few hours later he posted on social media he was all good, but not a comfortable situation for him. Puts Tellez on base here to begin the 8th.
Now you're starting to show the signs for Kansas City, some of the things that need to be cleaned up. The walk rate from the bullpen. Amir played basketball at St. John's. There's videos of him dunking. St. John's and Rick Pitino doing pretty good in the transfer portal right now, landing some big-time prospects.
You a Big East Hoops fan?
At times.
Yeah.
I'm a Gauchos fan.
Man, Marquette had a great year. Called strike 3 on Taylor. Raises the outside corner.
Number 28, Joey Weaver.
So as Weimer comes to the plate, he's walking up to the tune of Party on 5th Ave by Mac Miller. The leadoff man Tellez aboard in the 8th. Bryce Turang, the rookie, on deck. Oh, 2 to Weimer. For 3 tonight. Weimer right back up the box and into center. A 1-out single will bring up the rookie Turang, former first-round pick of the Brewers. Only the 7th Brewer ever to make his major league debut on opening day for Milwaukee.
Yeah, he had quite the first major league home run. How about his father? He played in the big leagues.
Yeah. Sounded like he broke his back. Couple of hops to first. They'll get 1 at second. A bit of an awkward collision there with Witt knocked off his feet. Tellez goes to 3rd as Weimer is retired at 2nd.
Turang swinging first pitch. Quick pickup from Prado. And then Bobby Witt doing everything he can to get the out. He almost threw it off Weimer's face. Finish up the story on Bryce at first. Opening day, he calls Pops. What do? Dad tells him, wear a suit. So he rolls into the Brewers clubhouse, suited up, looking good as you can ever imagine. He was the only one. Craig Counsell thought it was a thing. He said, what are we doing? Said he liked it. So Dad gave some either good advice or bad advice, depending on. Counsell liked it. I think that's all that matters.
Still, you got to dress to impress.
Act as if.
Right. Maybe it's an opening day tradition in the Turang family, although it used to be more of a regular occurrence in the big leagues.
The quote-unquote back in the day.
Yes. Contreras 0 for 2 today. Brewers with a 5-1 lead in the 8th. That almost got away from Fermin. This is exactly the template, if you're a Brewers fan, you would want. Offense, chipping in, Burns, excellent. Even if he had a little bit of a bobble here or there today. Just trying to salt this one away.
They're just trying to tread water long enough to get back to full strength.
It's a walk issue to Contreras, and the bases are now loaded. And to your points, Billy, I mean, they're without Urias. A couple of relievers are on the shelf right now. They're without Brandon Woodruff. A couple of longer-term injuries to pitchers like Jason Alexander. Garrett Mitchell in the outfield, his shoulder.
There's Woodruff. It's good to see.
Bases loaded, nowhere to put Adames. Oh, that's the 3rd walk tonight for Contreras. And you take a look at some of the notable injuries for the Brewers.
Yeah, Aaron Ashby, I mean, unheralded. He signed a long-term deal last year, but he has unbelievable ability. So this is a shell of what they could be.
It's 0-2 is waved at and missed, and Adames strikes out to leave the bases loaded. Last licks for the Royals when we come back. No doubt that the man they call Q, Contreras, the Royals manager, has some offensive firepower to work with. They've been one of the top teams in baseball in the month of May, but they have been shut down tonight by Brewers pitching.
We'll see if Q goes to his bench, because Elvis has entered the building.
Elvis Peguero, who spent the last 2 seasons with the Angels. This is his 8th appearance with the Brewers out of the pen this year.
It's a 2-pitch mix for Elvis. His fastball sits right around 96 miles an hour with a hard slider off of it.
Garcia, Prado, Dozier. There is some pop here. Garcia in just his 10th appearance since the call-up. Came into the day 9 for 34, 3 doubles. Had a 2-run double yesterday in a victory for Kansas City over the White Sox, but he is 0 for 3 tonight. One and 2. Peguero's 1-2, low and away. Came in twice in the series against the Dodgers. Inning in 2/3, an inning in a third, each time allowing just a hit. Bounce back up the middle. Turang to his left. One away.
One of the keys late in the game is you just have to make sure you get the leadoff runner off. And it changes the dynamic of an inning, getting the leadoff hitter on board.
And the Brewers, who started the season 18-9. They've lost 8 of 10 coming into the day, still gaining ground on the Pittsburgh Pirates, who lost again today.
Yeah, that should not happen. That should not be normal.
Well, the NL Central is a bit of a mess right now. Michael Massey is now on deck for Kansas City.
Well, Massey hit a home run yesterday in the game against the Chicago White Sox, and Massey's on a bit of a tear.
Ball and 2 strikes to Prado.
Prado has such a fun story. When he was in Little League, hit a walk-off hit when he was 12 years old against Team Japan to win the World Series with Huntington Beach. How about that?
Memory for a lifetime.
I always tell parents, you know, you don't want your kid to peak at age 12. I mean, like, that's pretty close to peaking in your baseball career.
Prado down on strikes. And the Royals down to their final out.
Well, Elvis just throws that backdoor slider 90 miles an hour. It starts off the plate, and then just that late movement coming back.
So with Massey pinch hitting,
for Hunter Dozier. Trying to keep the Royals alive here.
Did he go?
I said this about Massey. He's in the middle of a 7-game hit streak. Now he's 1 strike away from it ending just like that. These are big numbers.
Massey stays alive. One-two from Peguero. Spoiled foul. Reset the signs.
Violation. Pitcher violation, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Two-two pitch. And again, tap foul.
Quality at bat being put together from Massey. There's Owen Miller. 3 hits on the night. Got the cheese head.
Two-two again, spoiled foul. Massey is homered in back-to-back games coming in.
Yeah, and he's in a good spot. I mean, drove one into right center. Coffin Stadium, not an easy place to go. And then yesterday against Mike Clevenger, he ripped him down that right field line.
Got it swinging. And the ball game is over. The Milwaukee Brewers are back in first place in the National League Central. A 5-1 victory over the Kansas City Royals. Limiting these Royals bats to just 1 run on 3 hits. Tied for the fewest hits given up by Milwaukee pitching this season. Back in the home opener, they limited the Mets to just 3 hits in a 10-0 victory. Today they shut down the hottest offensive team in baseball to win it 5-1.
Pretty amazing. I mean, this is a game that I was looking forward to seeing. I love coming to Milwaukee all the time. American Family Field, one of my favorites to venture to. And then when you consider the connection, we were talking about Bob Uecker and Craig Counsell. Owen Miller from Wisconsin, to put it the day that he did, knowing that it was going to be a bullpen day. And Counsell went to Owen Miller to lead off because it was against a lefty, kept him in against Max Castillo, and he was rewarded with not just 1, but 3 hits, including a double. Yeah, really nice night for Owen Miller. And the ball off the bat for Owen Miller. Statcast had it, 103 miles an hour off the bat. Don't show him throwing on the cheese head.
Trish is downstairs with the hometown hero tonight.
That's exactly right, Alex. Owen Miller, 3 for 4. You were feeling it tonight. A triple shy of this cycle. How much confidence were you stepping up to the plate with?
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. It was good to get out there, get a couple of hits. You know, when you get a little bit of lead for Corbin, he pitches pretty well. So I'm glad we could score a run there early in the first, get him a lead, and let him do what he does best.
Oh, and that was your first home run as a Brewer, and you are from just up the road. How special was that to do?
Oh, unbelievable. Some of the Rowdy especially was giving me a little crap for not hitting a home run yet. So I'm glad I get that off my chest. But glad we get the win. Glad we could start the series off with a win. Man, we keep swinging the bat like that and pitching like that, we'll win a lot of games.
You used to come to this park growing up with your grandparents. How proud do you think your grandpa would be of this moment?
Oh, he'd be so happy. I'm sure my grandma's up there smiling in heaven right now. So I'm sure listening to Euchre on the radio call that will be pretty special when I watch that. So. I'm thankful for all the support that the hometown fans have given me. And it's pretty cool looking in the stands and seeing my family and friends every night.
This team's back at the top of the division. What's your confidence level in this group, despite the tough stretch you guys went on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show you that everybody's going to go through tough stretches, especially early in the season. You kind of got to find out, your identity and how you're going to win games. So, yeah, I think it's good. I think it shows a little bit of fight that we have and a little bit of grit. And it's just really good to see. Like I said, man, we can keep getting leads for our pitchers like that. We'll be pretty good.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Back by a strong outing from Corbin Burns, Tricia. The Brewers win it 5-1. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus returns next week with a twin bill at 7 Eastern. For Ryan Spielberg's Tricia Whitaker and our entire crew, this is Alex Faust. Stay tuned for Friday Night Baseball postgame coverage from the studio. We'll head to Baltimore next week. AL East showdown between and Toronto, I should say. AL East showdown between the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Julio Rodriguez and the Mariners head to Atlanta. Matchup with the NL East leading Braves. Should be a great doubleheader coming your way next week, and our coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Stewie and I will see you next week in Toronto with Tricia. We'll send you to the studio after this.